Back True Seeker. If you're new here and you've never heard this lesson before, please stick around. This lesson I'm about to give is one I've given probably no less than 1,000 times in the last 10 years. And it's something that happens a lot if you're paying attention. And the latest victim, if you will, of this pattern is Eric Adams. And notice today, November 2nd, it is the day leaving 59 days left in the year. This is an important number to Black History Month. It's not arbitrary, or I should say to Black history, and it's not arbitrary that Black History Month ends on the 59th day of the year, except for in leap years. Again, February 28th, the awkward month February, with just 28 days except for in a leap year, concludes on the 59th day of the year. And on this day, Eric Adams, the second black mayor of New York City, and in the common terminology, some people don't like referring to darker complected people as black people. I totally get that, but just for the sake of being understood, in terms of the common language, the second darker complected mayor in New York City's history, and where 59 gets real interesting. Again, Black History Month ends on the 59th day of the year. Motown Records came out in 59. Notice how in Gematria, Brianna equals 59. So does the word slave. So does the word Negro. So does the word Rasta. So does the word renegade, which was Obama's Secret Service name. So does blues. Kamala Harris, the second darker complected person to be in the Oval Office, just turned 59 years old. She won the 59th U.S. presidential election with Joe Biden, who also took office once upon a time with Obama. Obama and Kamala, parallels in terms of complexion, and the fact that they were both one-term senators that took the White House with Joe Biden, who again won the 59th U.S. presidential election and who said to darker complected people, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Again, that was the Joe Biden quote. So now Eric Adams, who's, in terms of powerful people in the U.S., from the presidency to a place like the mayor of New York City, that's a powerful position. So Eric Adams, he's in an Obama-like light, if you will. And just think about it. On the day leaving 59 days left in the year, where we talk about this all the time, where they use these dates with 59 numerology, 59th day of the year, May 9th, September 5th, days like today, leaving 59 days. When these 59s come up, so often there's rituals just like this. So the black mayor, he's getting raided. His fundraiser, Brianna Suggs, is getting raided, showing maybe there's some kind of corruption if the feds are raiding. And they said this happened right before Adams was supposed to meet with Joe Biden, so he had to cancel the meeting. He was in D.C. to meet with Joe Biden and then had to cancel because this came up. Just think about it. The winner of the 59th U.S. presidential election. I noticed the image in the story of Brianna Suggs. They had to show her when she was a college softball player in her Panthers jersey. I thought, oh, there's some obvious symbolism with the Panthers, like the Black Panthers that started in Catholic churches. If you don't know about that history, you're probably new here. Same things running Black Lives Matter. Same things running this nation. Thus all the Roman architecture. Thus all these things going back to the Bible, which is Roman, at least as we know it. But anyhow, remember 59 in the Bible. Ephesians 6, the verses 5 through 9 are the most infamous verses in the Bible about slavery. Again, Ephesians 6, the verses 5 through 9, it says, slaves, obey your earthly masters with respect and fear and with sincerity of heart, just as you would obey Christ. Obey them not only to win their favor when their eye is on you, but as slaves of Christ, doing the will of God from your heart. Serve wholeheartedly as if you were serving the Lord, not people, because you know that the Lord will reward each one for whatever good they do, whether they are slave or free. And masters, treat your slaves in the same way. Do not threaten them, since you know that he who is both their master and yours is in heaven, and there is no favoritism with him. So again, just the verses in Christianity that condone slavery. And if you're new here, I want to rewind to Obama, whose Secret Service name was Renegade, which equals 59. I want you to notice how if you run the alphabetic order in reverse, we just talked about how slave, Negro, Rasta, blues, Brianna, how they all equal 59. If you run the alphabetic order in reverse, meaning Z is 1 back to A is 26, the word slave, the word Negro, the word Rasta, the word blues, they all equal 76. Obama's book that he put out at age 59 was called A Promised Land, playing on the biblical prophecy of Abraham, a name that equals 44, like how he was number 44, elected 44 years after the Civil Rights Act. And then his book, A Promised Land, came out on November 17th, the day leaving 44 days left in the year. In the 11th month of the year. The word black has that gematria of 11. And here we are again in the 11th month now with Eric Adams in this latest 59 ritual. But A Promised Land is 59 and 76. Obama put it out when he was age 59. Way before he put it out, we've been documenting this pattern over and over and over, so it became just like the 800th example at the time, probably in running order. And again, if you're new here, gematria, it's very simple. It's the alphabetic order forwards and backwards, and also those two orders, but applying numerology. If you run the alphabetic order in reverse with numerology, Barack Obama equals 76. And with regards to 76 and 59 and Obama and his Secret Service name and the federal government, remember it was 1976 that the federal government recognized Black History Month officially, the month that ends on the 59th day of the year. So in the year 76, recognized. And the date that they recognized it wasn't on the start of the month, it was in the middle of the month. They did it on February 10th, 10/2 like 102, where the word slave is 59, the word slavery, adding the R and the Y. R's the 18th letter, Y's the 25th, so it's 43. 59 plus 43 is 102. So slavery, 102, slave 59, on 10/2, the day leaving 59 days left in the year, or excuse me, on the date 10/2 in the month that ends on the 59th day of the year, in the year 76, our federal government begins recognizing Black History Month. Now, with regards to 76 in the Bible, again, Acts 7:6, we used this verse and understanding this to project that why sometime after August 2019, not too far down the road, there'll probably be some calamity in the world, especially for the United States, because of the verse, Acts 7:6, it reads, God spoke to him in this way, for 400 years your descendants will be strangers in a country not their own, and they will be enslaved and mistreated. August 2019 is when slavery in America, in terms of the history books, in terms of this land that we now call America, slavery had been here for 400 years come August 2019. COVID-19 came right after that, and the U.S. was the hardest hit country for the longest and first part of the pandemic outside of China. And again, just playing by this biblical code. And remember, the coronavirus pandemic simulation, it was called Event 201, and it was the sister simulation of Cladex, which was May 15th, 2018. 666 days before the pandemic was declared a biblical number, the mark, which you must have if you want to buy or sell, like you'd have a mask or a jab if you wanted to buy or sell in a lot of places, and what went on in the world. But Event 201 being the name of the simulation on 10/18. Again, Satan comes to earth in Luke 10:18. In Gematria, the Holy Bible equals 201, like the Jesuit order, bringing it back to race and slavery. In the Tuskegee experiment, there were 201 men in the control group. If you write out 40 acres and a mule, it equals 201 in Gematria. Again, if you're new here, huge number with the Jesuits, and the Jesuits serve the Catholic Church, and they're the military order, and they're the reason that we're on the calendar we're on and speaking the language that we're speaking. Again, if you're new here, it's all things that have been explained many times over, but just watch other videos. Again, everything that's being done in the world, the Bible is being used as a playbook by this Jesuit cabal that runs the show in this nation and many others. And keep in mind, State of Israel's 201, another nation with 1,201 rituals, and nobody hit their knees harder in American mayorship than Eric Adams. Everyone heard what he said on behalf of Israel. And we'll talk about why he's getting shamed today and what it has to do with the Buffalo mass shooting after Kathy Hochul took office, who's from Buffalo. Why that mass shooting in Buffalo was on Israel's 74th birthday, blamed on the white supremacist in light of the whitewashing of history, which Hebrew Israelites are so often talking about on the streets of America, including New York, from New York City to Buffalo. But here's the other piece of this you got to know. I'm going to pull up the Gematria calculator. The first black mayor of New York City was the 106th. And the second black mayor is Eric Adams, the 110th. I just want you to see how the word prophecy is 106 forwards and 110 in reverse. Again, Obama's book, A Promised Land, a play on this biblical prophecy. Again, Abraham equals 44. Promised Land pertains to him, his vision. And again, Obama, just number 44, elected 44 years after the Civil Rights Act, who ran on hope. Another 44, puts out the book, A Promised Land, again on the day, leaving 44 days left in the year. Prophecy. Again, 106, 110. The first black mayor in New York City, the 106th. Eric Adams, the second, 110. And notice the word black when you run the alphabetic order in reverse is 106. Notice the phrase black power is 106 when you run it forward. Notice Black Lives Matter is 106 when you run it in reverse numerology. Think of BET, 106 in Park or 106 in Park. We were showing how last year when we went to the Yale campus, they have the Black Masonic Lodge just off the campus, and it's at Building 106. And again, these patterns are everywhere. Everywhere once you become aware of them. And you see the ritualism of it. But that's a big part of the reason that the first mayor of New York City was, the first black mayor was the 106th. And it's part of the reason Adams is the 110th. And again, this prophecy is being contrived in Israel right now, where Eric Adams got on his knees so hard for the people that are referred to as, the Jews of Israel, if you will. And remember, in Revelation, notice how when you write out Philadelphia, it has a gematria 223. As we predicted at the end of last year, this year would be full of tributes to the synagogue of Satan in the letter written to the Church of Philadelphia, and it has. We've been documenting it all year. But Philadelphia 223, if you write out the synagogue of Satan, it's 223. And notice how Brooklyn, New York is also 223. That's where Eric Adams, the raid happened today. What's George Santos' real name again? George Santos' birth name. You know, the guy who claimed to be a Jew but is not. Anthony DeVolder is his real name. Anthony DeVolder, 223. The Catholic who claimed to be a Jew but was not. And remember, Israel, established on 14/5. Israel, the Jewish nation, the Old Testament's the Jewish section of the Bible. In the Jewish Old Testament, there's 145 more chapters in the Protestant Old Testament. There's also 46 books, thus the 145 and 46. And again, David Ben-Gurion, 145 as well, the first prime minister of Israel, who died 201 days from the anniversary of its establishment. Anyway, I should make one more point about that while it's up on the screen. State of Israel has the 201 and 84, just like the Jesuit order, which is the Catholic military that's doing all this by the code. Remember the day that Israel declared war, October 8th, a Sunday. You can't get more Jesuit than Sunday, the day leaving 84 days left in the year, the day they declared war. And Netanyahu came back on 12/29, where 1229 is the 201st prime, and he stepped down on June 13th, 2021, the day leaving 201 days left in the year, and so on and so forth. But again, all of these things are being contrived by this same cabal, and they're all little symbols. And people refer to New York as New Babylon. All this goes back to Babylon. Tower of Babel, people babbling all over the place. So anyway, Eric Adams on the day leaving 59 days left in the year. Again, just the latest shaming type of ritual by the code, paying tribute to history. Again, to take this back to what happened at the Buffalo Tops, the white supremacist shooting on the 74th birthday of Israel, May 14th, 2022, while O.J. Simpson was 74 years old, the man who put Buffalo on the map in the NFL, and then after Buffalo left town, the city fell apart. But it was the 74th birthday of Israel. The Tops was on Jefferson Street. They say Jefferson was better than a lot of the founders to his slaves. He treated them exceptionally well, Thomas Jefferson. But Thomas Jefferson also dead on 7-4 in history. 74, this deadly number, like how Gaza's getting wasted right now while the Gaza Strip's 74, and the leader of the Jesuits is 74, and Netanyahu's 74 years old, and Israel was 74 at the start of the year, but they turned 75 on May 14th, 2023. Anyhow, white supremacist 74, the word Jewish, which means sorta, is 74. Just like Masonic is 74, and they say Masonry is Judaism for the Gentile, and DC is the Masonic city. Occult, meaning hidden, is 74, like English is 74, like Gematria is 74, like energy is 74, like the World Trade Center is on the 74th meridian, like how death shocks people. The word killing, 74, like the word stabbing, like the Ides of March on the 74th day of the year to remember the stabbing of Caesar to death. You know, like 3 of the first 5 presidents, again, dead on 7/4. But before that top shooting happened, we also explained why it was going to be bad news. Somewhere in the world, there's going to be some bad story where we'd see how it would be some kind of tribute to what's going on at this day and age and the mockery. Remember, in Revelation, the concluding book of the Bible, it says those... Keep in mind, Revelation's also 22 chapters, right? Last year was 2022 when Israel turned 74. But in Revelation, in the 22 chapters, you learn about the synagogue of Satan, those who claim to be Jews but are not, but who are deceivers and liars. And again, you look at all the clues that are out there from the artifacts, it looks like the true Jews, Israelites, Hebrews, whatever you want to call them, were definitely darker complected people. And again, the people who we referred to in Israel, they're not very dark. I mean, they look, for the most part, very white. And again, why would somebody do this? Well, so much belief in this system. There's so much. It's hard to explain these things, but religion has this authority, right? And so many people believe in the religion, and if people believe in that story and accept that a certain group are the chosen people, God's chosen people, the greatest people, then obviously there's an advantage to be that group of God's chosen people and recognize that, at least in the eyes of some. And, it's just like my mom. She's raised Lutheran, just like I was raised Lutheran. And my dad, he doesn't know who his adoptive father is, but I'd guess my dad's actual biological father, who he doesn't know, I'd guess he probably has some kind of Jewish ancestry. And my mom would always say that to me growing up, that you probably have some Jewish blood, and that's good because they're the chosen people. And she believed that because that's what she learned. And anyhow, I mean, that's kind of my thought on how this happened over probably a very long period of time, and just a motivation to become recognized as that group of people by any means necessary. And, when we were outside of the Buffalo Tops, I went actually to the Tops after the shooting. I went to Buffalo twice after the shooting, right a week after, and then we came back in September on the way to New York City for the 9/11 anniversary. And again, we got to interact with the Hebrew Israelites there in Buffalo, and this knowledge, it made them... when I went up and tried to talk to them, they were like shouting me down, calling me white devil. And I stood there and took it. And then I just kept being nice, and then eventually like, can I just please share something with you? I think you'll actually like the information. And then I taught them all about 74. Again, just like how Jewish is 74, Jesus from Judea, Jesus 74, like cross, like Messiah, like gospel. Again, like why the Tops was shot up on the 74th birthday, what this number has to do with throughout history. Keep in mind, Jesus spoke in parables, which are riddles, and riddles are being laid down every day for us by the same old code. That's what this is. This is a parable right here with Eric Adams and Brianna Suggs, whose initials are BS, which is probably entirely what this is, just more contrived BS, more divisive politics, more race shaming, more programming, more bait to keep people in the same old thoughts and ideas that they have. What about all the older Americans that grew up with the nightly news every night where it was the shaming of some black man, some unknown culprit for some crime who's believed to be a black man? I mean, that's the way the news always was when I was growing up. You turn on the nightly news, just something happened and it was probably a black man who did it. So all these people have all these ideas in their head that black people are bad and they're criminally oriented, and all these thoughts and ideas from watching these mind mass control devices. And then those same people are like, oh, look at that, we got the black mayor and looks like he's scamming with the fundraisers. Again, there's a method to the madness. For anyone who's asking me about Bobby Knight, just by the way, we covered Bobby Knight last night on TFR, Truth Frequency Radio. Every Wednesday night, we're doing that one on GematriaEffectNews 25. Make sure you're subscribed to GematriaEffectNews 25. It's where TFR happens every Wednesday night. And again, it's 25 because so many channels have been deleted. But yeah, Bobby Knight, big basketball coach, fifth all-time in wins for college basketball coaches, dies 5 days before the start of the upcoming basketball season for college basketball. At age 83, again, the word murder is 83, like the song Murder by Numbers came out in 83. We just talked about the Frank Howard ritualistic death, synced up with the World Series, 83 days from his birthday. We just talked about Matthew Perry, his last Instagram post being his 83rd, showing him in the jacuzzi where he was found dead under the moon, dying the night of the Hunter's moon, the full moon. And by the way, Hunter's moon in Gematria is 54, like his age of death. And again, if you missed those videos, you can definitely check them out. They're up. Same place. So let me try calling the New York Attorney General, and let's see if we can explain the 59 component. And if they're listening, maybe we can try to expand. But I think just talking about the 50, this number's been used throughout history to divide you guys. Rodney King's a big 59 in history. There's a lot of them. A lot of stories that have been used to make people take sides and divide and be reminded of racism and hatred and the things wrong in the world. They got this 59 on it. Let's try the New York Attorney General real quick. We got to get somebody with some legal clout to get behind us.
Thank you for calling the New York State Office of the Attorney General. You may also visit our website at www.ag.ny.gov. To continue in English, press or say 1.
If you're calling regarding your interactions with the NYPD during recent protests, please press pound. For more information on the Attorney General's COVID-19 response, please press star.
For information regarding consumer frauds, civil rights, hate crimes, healthcare, or internet matters, press or say 1.
That's the one.
For information,
these are hate crimes.
For information regarding consumer frauds, press or say 1. For information regarding civil rights matters, press or say 2. For information regarding hate crimes, press or say 3. For information, please hold while your call is transferred.
Thank you for contacting the Civil Rights Bureau. Para español, oprima 8. To submit information or a complaint about an existing investigation or litigation brought by the Civil Rights Bureau, please press 1. For complaints about a state agency, state police, state university, or state correctional facility, please press 2. For complaints about an attorney, judge, or courts, including immigration services,
I think it was 2.
The Civil Rights Bureau does not handle complaints about discrimination or misconduct by a state agency, New York State Police, state university, or a state correctional facility. For free legal assistance, please contact lawhelpny.org. The Civil Rights Bureau does not handle complaints about discrimination or misconduct by a state agency, New York State Police, state university, or a state correctional facility. For free legal assistance, please contact lawhelpny.org.
Just take it. And then it hangs up. Come on, man. Makes you hit all the buttons and then just takes you to a place and hangs up. It's like how everything is now. You think Eric Adams' office is off the hook? Let's see. Oh, I see. They don't even have a phone number call in. It's all by email. Well, hold on. Let's try this one, actually.
Thank you for calling 311 in New York City. We're here to help. For emergencies, please call 911. To continue in English, please press 1. All other callers,
Please remain on the line.
Para español, presione 3. Для выбора русского языка, нажмите 4.
国语. Today, Thursday, alternate side parking and parking.
So that number takes you to 311 instead of the mayor's office. Anyway, try out Kathy Hochul's office too. See if we can get through to any of these things.
Hello, you've reached the office of Governor Kathy Hochul. Our normal business hours are 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday. To contact the governor directly, you may send a fax to 518-474-1513 or send mail to the Honorable Kathy Hochul, New York State Executive Chamber, State Capitol, Albany, New York, 12224. You may also contact her through her website at www.governor.ny.gov. To best address your call, please choose from the following options. To leave a message sharing your ideas and opinions to help shape New York's future, please press 1. To speak to an agent, please press 2. To repeat these options,
Well, hopefully we're not on hold too long. Yeah, to speak to an agent, right. If anyone else has observations on the Eric Adams thing while we're on hold here. While we're on hold, maybe somebody else notices something else about Eric Adams. We can look from when he first took office. See if there's more to this story. He's 63 years old right now. For the record, racism equals 63. They used that number a lot when they were shaming Bill Cosby. Today is Eric Adams' 63rd day of being 63 years old. Racism is 63. That stands out. He took office January 1st, 2022. Let's take a peek at that. "95 weeks. Yes, I am calling in regards to relaying a message to the governor about something I've been educating about for a long time, about the ritualism taking place in this nation with the shaming of mostly black men. And the pattern I've taught about for a decade and written books about now applies to Eric Adams as of today. The message I'd like relayed is, if you could listen carefully, again, there's this system. It's an ancient practice of coding numbers into words known as gematria. And I learned about this in a book published in 1926 by Manly P. Hall. And he writes that it's amazing if you look into the numerical sequence behind the English language and how it's being used in this world. To make a point, Black History Month ends on February 28th, except for in leap years, which is the 59th day of the year. And in Gematria, the word slave equals 59. So does Negro. So does blues. So does Rasta. Motown Records, for example, came out in 59. Well, today, the day of this raid on Eric Adams' fundraiser manager, who's also a darker complected person, just like him, this raid comes right on the day, November 2nd, leaving 59 days left in the year. And the thing was that the story in the mainstream is that he was just about to meet with Joe Biden, Eric Adams, and had to cancel his meeting because of this raid on his campaign manager or fundraiser manager. And the thing about Joe Biden, he has the connection to Obama and Kamala Harris. Kamala just turned 59 years old. They won the 59th U.S. presidential election, Biden and Kamala. And then, of course, Biden was once with Obama. His Secret Service name in Gematria, Renegade, equals 59. He put out the book of Promised Land at age 59, playing on this biblical theme. In the Bible, it's Ephesians 6, the verses 5 through 9, which are the infamous verses about slavery, showing that the religion tolerates it from the slave standpoint and the masters. But this same 59 pattern is used again and again and again all throughout history in these things that look like they're meant to divide and feed on stereotypes. And it goes on all across the nation, not just in New York, and it's been going on for a very long time. And there's a lot more that I could say about this, but my name is Zachary K. Hubbard. I'm an author, and I'm very sick and tired of watching these rituals play out that it seems are again, it just came out that Eric Adams was just in the secret Freemasonry ceremony. And so anyway, this knowledge is known to Masons. So I don't know if Eric Adams is a willing participant who goes through this shaming so that he can be, the big man in New York City like some of these other politicians might. But whatever it is, it needs to be stopped. It needs to be outed. We need somebody in a high place to speak on it. A Kathy Hochul of the world would be absolutely excellent. And if you could just relay that message, or if you have any questions, I appreciate it. Okay, thank you so much. And maybe look up Gematria, because it'll blow your mind what's going on in this land. It's more than just that, but that 59 pattern is so redundant.
Okay, I'll look that up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have a good day. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, so we got the message relayed, and she was a good listener, and I think I explained that clearly enough for the phone, but just keeping it simple, one thing. So, anyway. All right, one more look at the chat. Do you guys have any observations that I'm missing with this, or do you think those are the main points? I agree, but that nobody's really black and nobody's really white, but we know why that terminology is. And for all the black people who are insulted by the color thing, well, the one thing that you could actually recognize in the word black is it has gematria of 11, the master number. And like I've said many times, the people who run this world, they love to use black people in their propaganda and agenda to shape the world. It's almost like there's more magic or something within the darker complexion. Somebody'd say, yeah, that's the melanin. But yeah, the word black does have the master numerology to it, so that's the one thing that's definitely not bad about it. Thank you very much, John. Always generous. I appreciate it. Well, you got here just in time, John, but you might want to rewind the stream. Just on the scene and already with the super chat. You were the only super chat too as well, so thank you again, friend. But yeah, we'll keep this one short and sweet. Thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share, and I'll be back for the next big story. Until next time, everybody.